This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are over, the decorations are down, and suddenly everything feels a little empty. It's normal to feel the winter blues after the holiday excitement. January, February, and March are by far my least favorite months of the year. It's cold and dark, and I have to get some extra vitamin D on board. I also need to keep my regular scheduled appointments with my therapist. So if you're feeling that post-holiday funk, I definitely suggest you checking out BetterHelp because maybe it's time to talk. You might also be one of those people like me who makes New Year's resolutions and you get super motivated. So maybe you need someone behind you to hold you accountable and come up with a plan to meet your goals. BetterHelp is super convenient, totally online. You have a therapist right at your fingertips whenever you need them. So head over to betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 for 10% off your first month.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, we talk about so many cases on this show. The unsolved cases especially, where we wish we had a bird's eye view so we could see exactly who did it and why. Well, in the case I'm telling you today, the police had 40 cameras worth of footage to sift through. This footage was key to solving the crime and finding this young woman's killer. This is the murder of Kelsey Ann Smith. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime stories and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks? It's your boy Russ, a.k.a. I'm still drinking beer.
So let's do a little segment called What's in Your Cup? What are you drinking?
Well, this week I'm drinking Blue Point Toasted Lager, which is one of my favorites. It's I already explained where it was from. It's from Long Island.
Yeah, we've talked about Blue Point.
It's kind of my go-to. To me, it has like a caramelly aftertaste almost.
Yeah, it does.
It's not sweet. I don't really love sweet drinks.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. It's a really good one. I'm drinking Shipyard Pumpkin Ale. Oh, Shipyard Pumpkin Head because it's October and I love pumpkin everything.
I like that pumpkin, the beer. That's it.
That's the only pumpkin thing you like.
I don't really like pumpkin pie either.
Really?
It's like
I love pumpkin pie.
You know how you know it's not good?
Why?
Because it's only around once a year. If it was really good, it would be around all year long.
Well, maybe it's that good because people savor it. It's like something to look forward to. Pumpkin lattes, pumpkin donuts at Dunkin' Donuts right now. Whatever.
Nah, it's no tiramisu.
Well, it's not a tiramisu. That's true. But, well, anyway, it's spooky season, which I love. Fall is like my favorite, and I love October because I love Halloween, and I love the whole season around Halloween. And that means on the Patreon, I wanted to do something that was like true crime and kind of spooky at the same time. Last year, we covered, for our October True Crime and Chill, we covered a documentary about a haunted house, and Zach Baggins, he was like the ghost paranormal hunter guy.
Oh, that's to do with the weird spiky hair?
Yes.
And then they pretend like there's ghosts with their ghostometer?
Yes.
Beep, 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 beep,
And you
beep.
made fun of him.
Ghost here, ghost here. But like, of course you could say there's a ghost here because a ghost is invisible, and I can't dispute something I can't see. Like, sure, it's invisible. It could be right here. What if it's up your butt? Like, I don't know.
So as a lot of you know, if you're a new listener, you will find out, if you go back to older episodes, that Russ does not believe in ghosts. He doesn't believe in anything paranormal. He thinks it's all bullshit.
And usually funny And believed by kooks.
Whatever. I believe in paranormal stuff, but
Kook alert. I'm using my kookometer. Beep, 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 beep. It's going off right near you.
So last year we covered that documentary for our October True Crime and Chill, and it was pretty much just Russ roasting Zach Baggins the entire time. Well, this year I wanted to do another creepy one. So we decided to do a really old documentary, and it's, an oldie but a goodie. It's called Cropsey, and it's about this urban legend on Staten Island. And there were a bunch of crimes, a bunch of children that went missing on Staten Island, and it was, related to the Willowbrook Asylum that was there once before Geraldo Rivera exposed all the crap that went on, and it got closed down.
He's the one with the caterpillar mustache, right?
He is, yes. But after it got closed down...
Didn't he have a talk show?
Yes. On his show, he exposed this, institution.
And he was like in Iraq with a gun and stuff. Like he really tries to get mixed in the news.
Well, his show exposed Willowbrook and they closed it down, but then a bunch of children went missing years later, and they believed that it was one of the orderlies who went insane and he got arrested for it. But then this whole urban legend started called Cropsey, and Cropsey was an escaped mental patient that they used to say lived underneath the old ruins of Willowbrook. So that's what Cropsey is about. They talk about the urban legend of Cropsey, and then they talk about the crimes that occurred on Staten Island in the 90s with these children that went missing. And it's just very, very interesting. So that's going to be our October True Crime and Chill.
When did that close down?
It was in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
No, I think you might have been born.
I wasn't born in the 80s.
Yeah, okay, Russ. Whatever. So, American Horror Story Season 2, Asylum, was actually based on Willowbrook.
I never watched that.
You did.
I watched a little bit of it.
We watched it together.
I liked Roanoke the best.
Roanoke.
Well, I don't know why everyone doesn't pronounce all the letters.
Roanoke.
I still call it Roanoke.
Well, the new season of American Horror Story is coming out within like a week, and it's NYC.
I always get... Oh, that's cool. I always get in
exciting.
trouble for mispronouncing names like Rhiannon.
Instead of Rhiannon.
Rhiannon. It just was... It's spelled...
Well, you just sound words out very phonetically, I guess.
Well, sometimes it's fun to do, but I never saw the word Roanoke before that show.
You've never heard of Roanoke, Virginia, or Roanoke, North Carolina?
No, that's like a third world. Isn't that like a third world country?
No.
Someone from there is giving us a 1-star review now. You goddamn city slickers done said we ain't real.
Well, the worst Southern accent I've ever heard.
While they're whistling through their tooth.
Worst Southern accent impression I've ever heard. Anyway, so on the Patreon this month for October True Crime and Chill, we're covering Cropsey. So if you're interested in hearing that one, head on over to Patreon and you will get a bunch of benefits, plus bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, and a shout out.
Oh, and a shout out. So
yes.
That's my cue.
Yes.
All right, guys. So if you join the Patreon, I give you a shout out. And this week's patrons are Robbie, Brooke, Monica, Michaela, Amy, Olivia, Brian, Erin, Kaylee, Sarah, Lacey, Tawana, Katie, Blake, Russell, about 3 Kims, Latoya, and Tina. Get at me, dog.
I think you pronounced this wrong. It's supposed to be
Tanoa.
Tanoa.
I don't know. I said Tawana.
Yeah, you said Tawana.
I grew up with some Tawanas.
Well, Tanoa is the name. So shout out to you guys.
Oh, I know a Tanoa. When I used to bartend, it was this dude. His name was Tanoa.
Oh.
But I used to just call him Mr. T.
Really?
Yeah. He was an old fella. He'd be like, my name's not Mr. T. And I'll be like, well, when you're Tanoa, I'm calling you Mr. T.
Oh. Well, cheers to you guys.
Cheers to you guys. I have open beer, but my next beer opening's for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I also do review of the week every week. You write us a review on the Apple thing. And if it's clever, funny, or making fun of someone in a funny way, I'll read it.
Good.
So this week's review is from Bonnet something. 10 out of 10, hands down. I found this podcast about 2 weeks ago and I can't get enough. I've made sure I pee before I start listening to you guys. I am sure Russ will say something dumb and hilarious or something very smart. I love the way you two interact and your dynamic. Jess, I truly sympathize with you when you want to wring Russ's neck. I would help you with that if I could reach my hands through the phone. Hashtag vote for us. Hashtag best profiler. Hashtag Jess is a saint.
Aw, I completely feel her on the peeing thing. When I laugh really hard, I can't help it.
Why do women pee on themselves all the time?
Well, I heard that after you give birth, it's even worse.
Yeah?
So I can't imagine how bad it is once you have kids.
And I was surprised that kids don't go to the bathroom when they can walk and talk. Like someone sent me something on Instagram. Mm-hmm. This little kid had high heels, sunglasses, and a purse walking down the stairs. You could do all that, but you can't go poop?
She had a diaper on too.
Yeah, you ain't fabulous.
She was like 4. She was so cute.
She probably smelled. Who knows what was in that diaper? And imagine how big the poops are at that age.
Oh, gosh.
Like big as a bulldog.
We did get a lot of messages about last episode when you were shocked that children who can walk and talk can't just use the bathroom on their own.
Yeah, because if you could tell me you want something, what the hell is that about?
It's just funny that people laugh so hard that you didn't know that.
Kids are disrespectful. All right, so one thing I saw on the internet this week was there is an active serial killer in Stockton, California.
Yeah, I saw that too, but I didn't really look into it. I didn't have time this week to really look into it deep, but that is terrifying.
All the serial killers come from California, or there are serial killers everywhere else, and the ones in California are the stupidest because everyone notices them.
I mean, I don't know. That's scary. The whole situation sounds terrifying.
So it seems like it's a dude. They have a shadowy picture of him walking down the street.
Yeah.
And like he kind of leans a little more to one side than the other. And he's like, I think 5'10", slimish. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's killing mostly like Spanish men. And the coincidence of it is he's killing people while they're by themselves in dark areas that aren't well lit.
That's so scary.
And I think right now there's like 6 people, and they were all dudes that he killed, but one was a lady, and she was injured and got away. Wow.
I wonder if she got a look at the person. That's very scary.
Yeah, I don't got all that information.
What's so scary is that he has a gun. So like you're in a dark place by yourself, someone comes up to you and just shoots you. Like, what are you supposed to do?
You ain't doing nothing.
It's crazy. And they're like, oh, well, don't be alone. Well, what if you have to? What if you're walking home from work? Like, what if you have to be alone? It'll be really interesting to see how this develops. But everybody who lives in that area of California, be really careful. Our listeners from California who live near there, be super careful and keep an eye out and don't be alone late at night because that's when this is happening.
And if you got a gun, which I don't think you can really get guns in California that much.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
But if you do, shoot them first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you... I think their gun laws are pretty strict, too.
Yeah, they're strict in New York, too, but everybody got guns.
Well, they're about to pass the concealed carry license for New York.
I heard about that.
That will be interesting.
But I don't see it really. There's got to be some type of loophole. They're just not letting everyone in New York get a gun. There's no way.
No, I'm sure it's going to be really hard to get a concealed carry here. But they're going to pass it that you have the ability to do it. But it's going to be difficult. It's not like something you can just go to the store and buy a gun like down in Georgia and stuff.
You can't have a gun store in New York.
No, I don't think they will allow that.
I think in like these redneck towns, you could buy like guns at Walmart.
Yeah, you can just go to a gun store and buy a gun. And they do a quick quote unquote background check.
They'd be like, are you going to shoot people you're not supposed to shoot? And they'd be like, nope, I isn't shooting no one, sir.
You got to work on your Southern accent.
that's how they talk.
They do not say Oz isn't, Russ.
And they call everyone sir and ma'am because
they do because they're polite and respectful.
While they're chewing on tobacco with that little lump under their lip, or under their lip like this.
That's dip. Yeah.
I hate that shit. That's nasty.
It's gross.
Yeah, whenever I was a bartender and people be like, can I get a cup to spit in? Like, you are not keeping a fucking spit cup on my bar.
Yeah.
You could spit that shit in the garbage, like your whole thing. Get that. You're going to have a brown cup of saliva?
Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty. Ugh.
And then keep doing that shit. They're gonna have to cut your lip off.
Well, it can rot your teeth and like give you gum disease because it's tobacco right there. It is gross. It's a gross thing.
Who needs teeth?
So there's a story out in the news right now as well that is really eerie and mysterious. I've had a lot of listeners message me about this, and I've been looking into it as well. I think people are expecting me to make a TikTok about it, but I decided to talk about it on this episode because it actually does tie in and relate to the case for this week. So on September 11th of this year, just last month, a 59-year-old woman named Debbie Collier went missing and was found the next day dead in a wooded area like 60 miles away from her house. So when she was found partially nude. Her abdomen was burned. It was like charred.
Looks like she was tortured
being burned. She was holding on to a tree with her right hand. Okay. Police don't know who killed her, but there are some details about this case that are incredibly strange. So her husband and daughter reported her missing after Debbie was gone for a few hours, and then her daughter received a Venmo payment from her mom for the amount of $2,385 with a message. You know when you send a Venmo and you have to put like something in the message?
Yeah.
The message said, "They're not going to let me go. I love you. There's a key to the house under the blue flower pot by the door."
Oh my God.
So her mom was missing. Like they didn't know she was missing. Like she had gone run errands, but she was gone for a few hours. Then her daughter receives this Venmo payment of $2,385 with this message. And then they try to call her. There's no answer. So then they call the police because then they start freaking out.
I wonder why she just didn't send a text if she was able to send a Venmo message.
Someone's probably with her, watching her. I don't know.
No, because I'm saying like if you could send a Venmo message, you could send a text. I wonder. That's
maybe someone
curious.
was watching her send it. So earlier this week, police released camera footage from a strip mall that's 13 miles away from where Debbie was found. So this footage came out, days after her body was found. And in the footage is from September 10th, which is the night she went missing and the day she sent the Venmo, right? In the footage, you see Debbie park her SUV. You see her walk into the store. When she gets in the store, she buys a rain poncho, a refillable torch lighter, paper towels, a tote bag, and a tarp. These are the items she buys.
So this might be she got burnt with her own torch.
Exactly. It's almost like she bought the things that were used to kill her.
Yeah, and a tarp. Did her family know why she would need a tarp?
No, that hasn't.
She's
they don't
involved
have.
in something else, maybe.
So in the footage, she doesn't appear to be in a hurry or stressed out or distressed. I've watched the footage multiple times. She's dressed in a University of Georgia football jersey because it was game day. Okay. The clerk that checked her out says that she vaguely remembers her because nothing seemed unusual. And this was a month ago. This footage was from a month ago. They got the footage. The clerk said nothing seemed unusual. We had a casual conversation. I checked her out. She seemed fine. And I barely really remember our interaction because nothing was weird about it.
I can't believe that the person even remembered her at all from months ago. You check out 1,000 people. You know what I mean?
So she, like I said, essentially purchased some of the tools that were used to kill her because all of these things were found by her body when her body was found. So there's a lot of speculation out there and rumors forming at this point about the daughter and the daughter's boyfriend. But these are just rumors. And no one, as of now, knows who killed Debbie. There was also a car accident that she was involved in, even like a month earlier in August. And this person that she got involved in this car accident with, the guy who was driving, he was on parole. And he begged Debbie not to put a police report or do an insurance thing because he's not allowed to drive because it violates his parole.
Oh, well then you got to give me money.
Well, that's the thing. So these are just little details that happened a month before. Were kind of weird, but no one knows if it's in any way connected.
Yeah, I don't know. Did she report it?
So I'm not sure. I couldn't find if she reported it or not. But the SUV that she's using when she died was a rental because her car was in the shop getting fixed from that car accident. So when you watch the footage of her in the strip mall parking lot, you see her go into the store, come out, and then you see her sit in her car for about 10 minutes before she drives away.
Maybe she had food. I always sit in the car and eat my food.
While she's in the car for that 10 minutes, that's the time that she's sending her daughter the Venmo.
Oh.
Then she drives off and she heads in the opposite direction of her house, further away from her house. So it's very weird, really eerie. This is all the details that are released at this point. The case is still developing. Police believe that this was personal and targeted, not a random act of violence. But there are no answers. And I will definitely keep everyone posted through social media when I get more information. But I find this so weird.
It is. You should do a TikTok on this one.
Yeah, maybe I will.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
You could add some
very
pictures.
Weird.
And make it, we could see who she is. We could see her car.
Yeah.
That's it's interesting to see the visuals for things that are going on.
Exactly. And this Debbie Collier case needed that camera footage to really start to piece together what the hell was going on. Because if we didn't have the camera footage, the only information that the police would have is that the daughter received this random Venmo with this super weird message attached to it.
Is the daughter, do they have like an alibi of where she was at that time?
Yeah, the daughter was at home with the dad.
Where was the boyfriend?
I don't know where the boyfriend was.
Why do they think it was the daughter and boyfriend? Because she sent the daughter money?
So, this has been debunked, but a true crime YouTuber claimed that the boyfriend has a bunch of legal fees that he owes, and that the legal fees all added up to $2,385. However, a lot of people are saying, if this lady knows that she's getting murdered because she said they won't let me go, I love you, why the hell does she care enough about her daughter's boyfriend's legal fees to send that money?
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So, like I said, that's all kind of rumors, but I don't want to play into those rumors because it's not fair to spread something that probably is completely fabricated.
Yeah, there's just something fishy going on.
Something's very fishy, for sure. So, the footage from the strip mall is incredibly key to piecing together the timeline of what exactly happened and her movements. So this reminded me of a case from a few years ago where the camera footage was the key to piecing together the final moments of a young girl's life. And this footage is what led investigators to catching her killer. This is the murder of Kelsey Ann Smith. Are you ready?
Yep.
So Kelsey Smith was an 18-year-old sweetheart from Overland Park, Kansas. Overland Park is a smaller town in Kansas, but it's close to the Missouri border. She was really friendly, tons of energy, involved in lots of extracurricular activities in her high school. She was in the marching band, musical theater, and she ran track. So she had just graduated high school and was about to enter Kansas State University as a biology major because she was planning to study pre-veterinary medicine. She had dreams of becoming a veterinarian.
That's cool. I wish I could be a vet, but it takes too much school. And I only want to help dogs. I don't want to help lizards and birds.
Oh, why? Lizards and birds are cute too.
Probably because I just don't want to pet them.
Well, she had dreams of becoming a veterinarian, and I love vets. I feel like that's probably such a hard job.
Yeah, and I bet the schooling's really hard, and they probably don't make as much as people doctors.
No, they definitely don't make as much as people doctors, but it's probably so difficult to not know what, the dogs can't talk and cats can't talk. You have to kind of guess.
It's funny. In every apocalyptic movie, there's never a regular doctor. It's always a vet healing up the people. I got bit by a zombie. We got to cut your arm off. But it's a vet.
What?
It's never...
Really?
It's never a regular doctor. They're like, well, I'm a doctor. And then at the end, they found out, for animals. Happens every time.
So Kelsey and her boyfriend, John, they'd been dating for 6 months. And things were getting serious. She told her parents that the two of them had planned a date for the evening. And she wanted to run to Target before he picks her up to buy him a gift for their 6-month milestone that they've reached in their relationship.
Who's going to the store? Him or her?
Kelsey is going to the store
girl.
to get a gift for John her boyfriend that she's been with for 6 months.
I got it. Well, I knew it. I knew it had to be the girl. I just wasn't sure because I was like, that's not an anniversary. That's like when someone tells me their kid is 68 weeks old. Like, what? You just gave me an algebra problem. Like, get out of here.
Yes, but she's also...
Or months or whatever. Like,
she's also 18. She just graduated high school. So 6 months when you're an 18-year-old girl is a big deal. And she wanted to buy him a gift. So on June 2nd, 2007, around 7 p.m., Kelsey heads off to Target. After she finds the gift, while she's still in the store, she calls her mom and she tells her what she got him and she asks her mom's advice on how to wrap it. She tells her mom, okay, I'm leaving now. I'll see you soon. The drive home from Target was only 8 minutes from her house, okay? So an hour goes by. Kelsey wasn't home yet. Her mom and dad start to call her because John shows up to pick her up for their date. But after a few tries from her parents and there was no answer, then John started calling her and texting her, and no one can get a hold of her. Then they all decide, let's get in our cars and head over to Target because she had an older vehicle and like maybe her car broke down and her phone died. Like that, maybe that's what happened. Maybe she's stranded.
Well, yeah, you're thinking that everything's working out and, you know, you're hoping for the best. Like, her car, she's probably just stuck.
Yeah, she's probably just stuck. So they all get in the car together. They drive over to Target. But when they get to Target parking lot, neither Kelsey nor her car were there. So Kelsey's parents immediately call the cops because Kelsey's dad is a cop.
Sometimes I think you were missing, and it's always, then I go outside and I look in the parking lot. And it's always just you outside on your phone in your car after work talking to your mom.
Yes.
You need to come inside and not be outside for an hour because I know how long it takes you to get home. And I don't want to go outside and look.
Well, sometimes I'm talking to my mom driving home and then I don't want to come in here and ignore you. So I just finish my conversation with her in the car.
When you come in, believe me, you don't have to talk to me. It's okay.
Shut up.
We could be quiet.
So Kelsey's dad is a cop. So he knew immediately, like, I'm not playing around. I'm getting the cops involved. So he calls, the station and tells them his daughter's car and his daughter are missing from Target. And about an hour later, Kelsey's 1987 Buick Regal was found in the Macy's parking lot, which is in the mall across the street from Target.
Not odd.
Why is that not odd?
Because she could have like, let me stop in Macy's real quick.
Except now it's getting late. Target is closed. The mall is closed. And it's just her car that they find.
But I'm saying maybe after Target, she went to Macy's. So maybe she wasn't pulled to Macy's, not on her own will. Like maybe she went there. Like sometimes you go to a store, you see another one, like, let me stop in there real quick.
Yeah. Well, Kelsey's purse, wallet, keys, and the gift for her boyfriend, John, were all still in the car. But there was no sign of Kelsey. So police immediately ruled out a robbery. And they knew that this was an abduction. Last year, Save More Money was the most popular New Year's resolution in America. Clearly, a lot of us feel like our money is slipping through our fingers. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not the best saver, and I don't know much about investing until I started saving and investing with Acorns. Turns out you don't have to be an expert at all because Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. And I always thought that when people say, ooh, I invest in stocks, that they had a ton of money or something. Well, you don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. You can literally start with $5. And you guys are spending that at Starbucks on these fancy lattes. So skip the coffee and invest with Acorns. You don't even need a ton of time. Like you can just sign up and start investing within 5 minutes. Head over to acorns.com/wifeofcrime or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. That's acorns.com/wifeofcrime. You guys already know because we have been talking about them for a while now. Via Hemp is by far one of our favorite sponsors we've ever had, okay? We use their products all the time. Maybe you're a little like me. You're a little anxious. You have a hard time settling down. You're kind of wound up a lot. If that's you, Via Hemp products are for you. Check out their website. You will find something that speaks to you. Maybe you're like Russ. You have a hard time sleeping because you have bad nerve pain or chronic pain. Then Via Hemp is for you because their gummies will help you get some quality sleep. Maybe you're looking to have a really good time. Maybe you just really like edibles. You want to laugh. You want to get the munchies. You want to watch a movie and have a really strong belly laugh. Then Via Hemp products are for you, okay? They're literally for everybody. So head over to viahemp.com, promo code wifeofcrime1 to get 15% off your first order. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Wife of Crime #1 for 15% off your first order. So they contacted Verizon to get Kelsey's phone data and location because this was 2007. So this is not when you just had your location services on, Track My iPhone or whatever. This is 2007. So they had to call Verizon physically and ask them for her data. But Verizon refused to release the information to police.
Damn.
Because of Kansas and many states at that time had privacy laws where they won't release information, from cell phone data. And this actually was really big deal because police got, they didn't have much to go on.
Like, we're trying to save this girl's life. But in other times, you do want your privacy protected and people not just to ask, where is he?
Well, yes.
So,
but she's also 18.
Yes, but would a police officer or someone just say this even if they just wanted to find someone and this wasn't under their, whatever word I'm looking for?
Well, since Verizon wasn't giving the police any information, the police then decide they have to wait until the next morning, which was agonizing for everyone involved, for Target to open so that they could get a look at the camera footage.
Oh, damn, they couldn't call someone?
No, they were closed. The store was closed. So they had to wait till the next morning. They go and they try to get the camera footage, the surveillance footage. There are 40 cameras on the inside and outside of Target. It took 10 police officers multiple hours to look through all the footage frame by frame of 40 surveillance cameras for that entire day. While watching the footage, the officers see Kelsey leave the store and walk to her car. And suddenly, they watch in shock as they see a blurry figure run across the parking lot, run up to her, shove her in the car, jump in her car, and speed off with it.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Why is the figure blurry? Just because he's moving fast running. And the cameras are shit?
Yeah. So officers rewind the video, and they watch her whole trip to Target from the moment she pulls up. And they watch in horror as they see Kelsey walk into the store, and then minutes later, a man walk in after her. They see this man, white, mid-20s, wearing a white t-shirt and dark shorts, follow Kelsey through the store, aisle by aisle. He stays far enough away from her that she doesn't notice him. She's just going shopping. She's not realizing.
This reminds me of when dudes following you in the store trying to take pictures of your feet.
Yes.
And them joints ain't spectacular. They just feet.
Shut up, Russ.
They ain't bad.
It reminded me of that too.
Yeah, and then
and then
you laughed about it and told me, and I was like, that's not funny. I'll head over there right now. Tell someone.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of that. So he was walking up and down the aisles, stalking her, staying far enough behind her, but watching her the whole time. One of the officers says it felt like he was watching a lion stalk its prey. It was incredibly disturbing. And I watched all the camera footage. It's disturbing, knowing that he's just following her around.
Oh, we have access to that footage? That's crazy.
I'll post it. They see Kelsey call her mom while she's in the aisle to talk to her about how to wrap the present. They see her head over to the checkout. While she's in the checkout line, the man walks out of the store, and they get a very clear view of his face leaving. He goes to his car, grabs a handgun, watches Kelsey walk out, and then that's when he rushes over and forces her at gunpoint into her car.
After watching this footage in horror, now they're really freaked out. Like the police are like, oh my God, we have to find this guy. So they immediately released the footage of the man walking out of the store to the media.
Absolutely. Blasted everywhere.
With a description of the man's vehicle. Meanwhile, it takes 4 days for the request from Verizon to finally release the phone data. And police look at her phone records and they see that Kelsey's phone last pinged in the area of Longview Lake, Missouri, which is about 17 miles from this target.
See, now I have a question, though. Since she's 18, most likely the plan isn't under her name. So
I don't know.
Maybe the mom or dad could have been like, hey, this is my phone. I pay for it every month. Can you tell me where the ping is?
I don't think so. I think it was in her name. Because I think if it wasn't, the parents could do that. But in this situation, I think it was in her name. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that Verizon stalled because police saw that her phone last pinged in Longview Lake, Missouri, which is 17 miles away from Target. Within 45 minutes of receiving this information, they discovered the body of 18-year-old Kelsey Ann Smith.
Damn.
She was hidden under branches and leaves. She was naked. She'd been sexually assaulted and strangled to death with her own belt. Within hours of releasing the footage of the suspect, thousands of tips poured in. But 2 tips in particular led to the capture of her killer.
Hell yeah, get this piece of shit.
On the day Kelsey's body was found, a couple called the tip line to say the man in the footage looked exactly like their next door neighbor, 26-year-old Edwin Roy Hall. Another huge tip came from Edwin's coworker, who was sitting in the break room with Edwin, eating lunch, when the footage popped up on the news, showing his truck. Edwin's coworker looked out the parking lot from the break room window and back at Edwin and said, hey, isn't that your truck? Isn't that you? Edwin immediately got up, walked to his boss's office, and said he was sick and he was leaving early.
Oh, I just looked at a picture of this creep.
Yeah.
He his face looks like a painting of Picasso. Like it's all lump. Like one eye's too high, one eye's too low.
Yeah.
Freaking freak face. And then
freak face.
Yeah, the girl was so pretty.
Yeah, she was a sweetheart.
Damn.
So
not that being pretty is important. I hate that like people always tell women they're pretty. I wish they would give them better compliments. Like, oh, you're smart.
Oh, like, Russell.
Well, I mean that more for little girls.
Yeah.
As a woman, you should be secure in yourself at this point. But like little girls, like, oh, you're so pretty. Like, I hate all this superficial shit. Like, oh, you're strong or you're good at that. Like,
it's very true.
All that, like, everything's all about looks. Oh, like I always think of like when they're like, oh, this is my beautiful niece, or
like this is my smart niece.
How about something she's in control of? Because none of us are in control of how we look.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
But like I don't know. That's something I always think about.
I think it's really good. I wish more people would do that with little girls. We need that.
Well, boys too. It isn't all about looks.
Yeah, absolutely. So cops head over to Edwin's house immediately. They find Edwin and his wife packing to leave for a vacation with their 4-year-old son. A vacation. Okay. A last-minute vacation.
Wait, they were leaving with Picasso face?
They go to his house, and he and his wife were leaving for a, quote, vacation, last-minute vacation.
Oh, so he told his wife, I'm sorry, because I just went and grabbed my beer, and somehow my brain, like, skipped for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm back.
So, yes, he told his wife, we're going to go on a trip.
He had a wife?
He has a wife and a son.
I thought he was probably, like, when I think of people that, like, abduct people like this in such, like, super creepy ways, it's always creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I always think they're like loners that live like in an almost hoarder house. Or
we'll talk a little bit about Edwin in a minute. So at first, Edwin denied being involved at all in Kelsey's murder.
Doesn't matter, bitch. We have a camera.
Well, cops lied to him, and they told him that the fingerprints on her car matched his, and DNA found on her shorts was his. They lied because they didn't know that for sure, but they knew it was him. After they told him this, he immediately confessed to the rape and murder of Kelsey Smith. So Edwin had no adult criminal record, okay? None. But he did have a juvenile one. As police looked deeper into him, they discovered a very rocky past And he was really a disturbed piece of shit. Edwin himself was a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of his uncle. He was molested up until the age of 7, from a baby all the way until 7 by his uncle.
That's crazy. Why would someone touch a fucking little baby?
He was adopted by a nice couple because after, this came out that he was being molested, he was put in the foster care system at 7 years old. And then he was adopted by this nice couple named Carol and Don Hall, who wanted to take this poor kid and give him a better life, Carol believed she could help him recover from this immense trauma that he suffered at this young age. But the task turned out to be too difficult for Carol and Don to handle because Edwin had severe behavioral problems, both at home and at school. Edwin beat a kid in the head with a baseball bat at school, severely injuring the boy. At the age of 15, he threatened to kill his little sister, his adoptive sister, with a knife. He had a knife on her.
Wow.
So Carol and Don returned him back to state's custody because they were too afraid for their family and too afraid for their children to have him in the house. So he ended up going back into the system at 15. And then at 18, he did his thing. And then eventually he was okay. He didn't commit crimes. He met his wife. He got married and he had a 4-year-old son. So Carol and Don caught back up with him later and they were happy. They were like, wow, he didn't go through all this crap and he was a bad kid after everything he went through, but now he looks like he's really got his life together.
It seems like it.
They were happy for him. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
I wonder what his wife thought about him after this happened. How always people oh, I never could have saw this coming. Or was he beating her and stuff?
Or was there red flags? Yeah. Well, Edwin did have a MySpace account. And on it, he described himself as a sweet, troubled soul. In his interests section, this is what it said. My interests include eating small children and harming small animals.
Oof.
He was a total creep.
Well, you really can't talk about being mad at people eating small children because you love the movie Hocus Pocus.
I do love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, and they eat kids.
Well, I do love Hocus Pocus, but clearly that's a movie. This is real life, and he was a total creep. He would actually catcall and flirt with very young preteen age girls.
Oh, damn. He's insecure.
Edwin was he's a pedophile.
Yeah, but I always feel that people that do that are usually insecure and scared of rejection.
And he's also a pedophile.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm just stating that I feel people that are insecure men like that are more likely to be a pedophile because they can be the dominant one in a relationship and have the power.
Yeah. Well, Edwin was charged with aggravated kidnapping, rape, sodomy, and first-degree murder. He pled guilty, took a plea deal because he wanted to avoid the death penalty.
They should cut their dicks off when they do stuff like this.
Yeah, I know. They really should.
Yeah, just give it
chop it off.
Yeah, make him look like Ken from Barbie and Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And now you gotta you're still in jail, but you're just flat.
So during his confession, he told police, now this is really skeevy. He told police that he noticed Kelsey because she had nice legs and she was very young looking. He said, I thought she was about 12 years old.
Oh, shit.
He called her a crime of opportunity when he was talking to police.
I'm glad he told the truth because sometimes I want to know what's going through their head.
Well, that's really what was going through his head.
It's sick.
During the trial, Edwin's lawyer said this, quote, my client had been sexually abused from the age of 6 more times than you can count on your hands. These were his blood relatives. It happened over and over again. There is no excuse for what happened to Kelsey Smith, but it's an explanation for how his life spun terribly out of control on June 2nd, 2007. But Kelsey's mom, she responded to this because she got a chance to speak in court as well. And she got a chance to speak to Edwin. Edwin got up and just said he was sorry. You can watch the video of it. He's crying. He said how sorry he was to the family.
He's sorry he got caught because had he not got caught, he wouldn't have acted like this.
Yeah. So Kelsey's mom responded to his lawyer's statement, and this is what she said. And I thought this was such a great response. Quote, I know what it's like to grow up with alcoholic parents. I know what it's like to grow up in an abusive home. I know what it's like to grow up in a single-parent household that's so poor you receive public assistance and go without electricity. I know what it's like to be molested as a child. I know what it's like to be a victim of rape. I know what it's like to be a teen mother. But I also know that life is about choices. When does one have to take responsibility for their own life? And she was pretty much just saying, like, yes, I went through, like, she went through all of those things. But you can't use that as an excuse or a reason for your life spinning out of control.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I spoke about, which kind of resonated with a lot of people, talking about stop the generational trauma with you. And I actually got messages and all kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You spoke about that on Patreon. That wasn't
Patreon.
on our regular episode.
Yeah, because like I had a really hard childhood and sometimes little pieces of it come out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to give a breakdown of my childhood.
Yeah.
And you can stop it right with you. You make the choice. Like, that's it. It stops fucking today.
Yeah.
Like, not me, not today. I'm not going to deal with the consequences of my family's past.
Yeah.
I'm not the choices that they made. I'm the choices that I make. So now you just move on. Not move on. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
But you make choices even though they're hard.
Absolutely. And it's all about decisions. And
it's harder for some people than others. So, like, I don't blame people for being the way they are, but you don't got to turn out like this, and you could put effort in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of times in life, there are really difficult decisions we have to make, and people expect feelings. They expect the feelings to come along with it. Like, oh, I feel like moving past it. I feel like feeling better. No, sometimes it's just a decision that you make and there's no feelings with it. You just decide, I'm not going to allow this in my life anymore, and that's it.
Yeah, like I'm not going to act this way because of a past trauma that makes me feel this way. I'm going to do what's the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or what I think is right for me. Sometimes I don't always do what's right for other people. I do what's right for myself. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish and do what's right for you.
I agree. Well, I think that you also are a prime example of somebody who had a tough childhood and have made better decisions. So it's possible. And that's what her mom was saying in court. Like, I don't really care that you're sorry. I don't really care that...
Yeah, fuck that
That
dude.
you went... It's sad that you went through all of this, but like it's literally no excuse for what you did to my daughter. So...
Because you're this person,
you
deserve every bad thing that's coming towards you. Because you could be sad and depressed or mad on your own, but you don't got to go abducting and killing people.
Exactly.
That's the lowest of the low.
It really is. So Kelsey's parents, they really wanted to leave a legacy in their daughter's name, and they wanted to turn this horrible situation and try to make a difference. And I love when, you know, I tell stories that people do that, like Michael Morton, like other cases I've told where people take, you know, the situations they've been in and change laws and create laws. And that's what her parents did. So Kelsey's parents went on to create the Kelsey Smith Act. And it is a legislation that's now established in 28 states, which requires cell phone companies to disclose cell phone location data to law enforcement in cases of missing persons.
Oh, hell yeah. But why is that only in 28 states? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I don't know. Other states just maybe haven't adopted it yet. I'm not sure. But they require these cell phone companies to give up data to law enforcement in cases of missing persons who may be in great danger or harm of death.
I wonder what was like when they predicted the time of death and when they were trying to get the cell phone records, if she was still alive while they were asking for it.
She was.
Oh.
So sadly, they predicted that her time of death was between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. And police found her car and called Verizon at 9 p.m. So maybe it was too late.
They still, even by the time they would have tried to find her, but they would have knew the area. Like it would have increased the chances of her survival, and it'll increase the chance of anyone's survival if you can kind of get in the area and, you know.
Well, another tip that came out while they were getting all these tips in the tip line was that a couple was driving by and saw a man with the same description of this guy walking out of the woods where her body was found with a duffel bag. And so that tells police, and this was the next day. So that tells police that he went back to the body and covered it with leaves and branches and stuff like that. But he visited the body the next day. So they didn't stop there. They also started the Kelsey Smith Foundation, which educates young adults on safety and awareness and empowers young adults to avoid becoming victims of crimes. So this foundation teaches self-defense classes, educates young people on how to just be aware of your surroundings and not fall victim to a crime.
That's good. And I do the same thing. I always tell people carry pepper spray and things like that. Like I have pepper spray in my center console that just lives there. You know, there's crazy road rage people, and
there is, yeah.
Somebody bangs on my window, they're in for a nice little eye burn.
Spray in the eye.
Right.
Well, the sad...
that happens in New York. People get out their car.
They do.
And challenge you to fucking fights. And not that I wouldn't oblige at times, but I got things to do, and it's dangerous getting in a fight.
It is. You never know who has a weapon at this point. But, you know, in this situation, though, I mean, I think it's amazing what her family is doing to educate people and about safety and stuff.
Well, they're not letting her memory, like, die. Like,
of course, yeah.
I'm not a wordsmith. I don't mean in that way. But they're, like, letting her legacy live on and
trying to help.
Yeah.
In this situation, when you watch the footage, like, literally... she fought back. They said there were defense wounds all over him that she scratched and kicked. And I mean, he was beat up. Like she definitely fought back. But how do you avoid a situation like this? The guy stalked her and then bum rushed her outside at gunpoint and shoved her into the car. Like how do you avoid that? I don't think she could have done anything. She's a little girl. He's 26.
And she looked like she was 12.
She was very little. And he literally just threw her into the car. Like he shoved her in.
Oh, I thought like pulled a gun and like get in the car.
No, it was a fast situation. My point is that there's nothing she could have done different. I don't think. But I think it's amazing that her family, you know, has this foundation and that they, you know, created this legislation that 28 states have now adopted.
Certain things are so stupid that I can't believe we have to create how do you say that word? Legislations for.
Yeah.
Like, why does this have to be a law? Why do I have to force you to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Can you hear me now, people?
Verizon. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, who's the CEO or whatever? Like, the fuck is your problem, bro?
It's all about the privacy laws, but it's like, bro, this little girl was missing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was crazy. But, you know, this case, watching the camera footage is tough to watch, but it's also... like, thank God there were 40 cameras. Thank God the cameras were pretty clear and they had this bird's eye view. But it is eerie as hell to watch.
He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those cameras.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, with this case and the Debbie Collier case, this CCTV surveillance footage is incredibly key in finding answers. And I thought it was really interesting how both of these cases needed that. So that's the case of Kelsey Ann Smith, and super sad. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning back in to Wife of Crime.
But you know what, Jess? Mm-hmm. Your Wife of Crime t-shirt looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I got a black one. The black Wife of Crime beer and wine t-shirt.
Can I ask you why you got that shirt?
Because I thought it would be good for the winter.
Was it because I said, hey, Jess, I want myself a black Wife of Crime one, like the tattoo with the beer one. And then, I think I want one too.
I did. Well, I was like, oh yeah, it is a good one for
It's a nice
fall.
shirt that I actually could wear. And I only wear it because, like, people aren't going to recognize me outside.
Yeah.
But, like, if I was recognized, I'd be so embarrassed wearing my own shit.
Yeah. But it is nice. It's black. I like it for the fall.
You get any color. But if you get it black. That's the best color.
Yeah. The black is a good color. So, yes, I'm wearing it as we speak.
Because I got one.
Well, because it was a good idea.
Everything I wear. I get a pair of, like, new sneakers. She's like, those are so nice. I want a pair too. I'm like, we're not going to be the couple with the matching clothes in the street. You got to relax.
But sometimes we accidentally match. We do a lot.
Because you buy everything I wear. I had a denim jacket. You go buy a denim jacket.
No, Russ. Everyone has denim jackets. But we do end up sometimes before we leave the house, put on the same outfit. Like I'll put on dark jeans and a white t-shirt and a, pair of sneakers and you put on the exact same
Well,
thing.
you need to stop dressing like a boy. That's what this is.
I don't dress like a boy. Don't lie. Don't lie. I have good style.
Anyway, so you can find yourself some dope-ass merch at wifeofcrime.com. You catch us on Instagram at wifeofcrimepod. You can catch Jess talking a lot with pictures behind her on TikTok at wifeofcrimepod.
Yeah.
On Twitter, which we ain't really twitting
Yeah,
too
we don't
much.
tweet, really. Honestly, it's kind of a waste following us on Twitter because
Don't say that.
I don't do anything.
One day, I'm going to be on there.
I don't tweet. I don't even know what to tweet. It's 140 character limit. I don't
you
know
talk
what
too much for 140 characters.
I don't know what to tweet.
Hey, go follow all that stuff. Mainly, if you want to talk to us on Facebook, it's at Wife of Crime,
The
Crime Family. But if you really want to hit us up, join the Patreon, and on Instagram, we're there pretty much full time.
Yes, Instagram and Patreon are the two places that I'm there full time.
All right, guys, we will catch you next episode, and stay cool.
Stay cool. Bye.
Peace.